Hello and welcome to the School of Love, and today this is our first Queen's Club meeting to practice the sexual goddess practices. If you haven't purchased the Sexual Goddess Retreat yet, please go and purchase it as soon as possible and join us for this incredible 4-week ride where I'm going to practice with you, and I'm going to add and teach other practices that are not in the video. The Sexual Goddess Retreat is a video course. It's made like a home study. I show everything, I explain everything, you can practice everything. So it was designed as a self-sustainable container. But there are so many questions women have on everything. They're lazy. They don't want to do it on their own. You know, we need the inspiration and the practice and the group practice to do these things together. And motivation, but also I am really surprised sometimes with the questions that women pick up some things out of context and misinterpret and put their stress on it and just blow it out of proportions. And so I get them in my private WhatsApp, many questions. And so today I want to address the question about the clitoral orgasm as a practical thing. I'm going to share a little bit about that. And I was wondering and considering, like, do I start today with the earth element practice or do I start with the fire element practice? So what this retreat is about, the Sexual Goddess Retreat, is it will teach you how to use all of your vaginal muscles in an isolated, proper way as geishas used to do. It's incredibly important to have the full mastery of your body. And the vagina, your yoni, is the most powerful piece of your feminine body. You give childbirth through that, and your health and your hormones and your beauty and your vital energy, your sexual energy, it all depends from the pelvic floor and the muscles that connect things together and the sexual channels, the energetic channels, the meridians that activate that sexual juice, that sexual flow in different parts of your body. And so the Queen's Club is created by me and for me as well, so that I can also practice and get excited with you all and clarify things and practice with you and answer the questions and support you. And so I'm very excited to create a community of women that have healed their womb. Everyone in my retreats have the first program everybody buys is the womb healing program. And in the womb healing program, you have the first step to your yoni power. You're not just healing the womb in that program, but you also get the introduction to your yoni muscles, so that prepares you to move forward. The next retreat that I highly recommend to everyone is the Wholeness Retreat. And there we worked more on the earth element. Why the earth element is so powerful and vital for all the women? Because that's our stability. The progesterone is one of the interesting things about progesterone that I've learned when I was in my 40s and my hormones were going down and I was testing. And I was told that, is somebody trying to get in? I was told by a doctor that arthritis cannot be healed, can be controlled a little bit, can be stopped, but cannot be reversed if people have arthritis with age. And what they discovered is that arthritis, the bone problems, comes because the progesterone in women slows down with age. And I'm like, oh wow. And when they started giving the women a special natural progesterone cream that was actually being absorbed by the body, it was the first time that they saw that they were able to reverse arthritis. So the earth element is your natural way to activate and raise your progesterone, which women, all the hormones start going down after 35. So this is not new information for those of you that are with me going through retreats and listening, but the repetition is part of this inspiration. Why do you do this practice? Because if something hurts you, you are willing to spend the time and the money to run to the doctor because you're scared. And very few women want to work through pleasure. So I think, why am I special in my own eyes? Why do I really honor myself? Is that I always run, at the top of the wave. In the ocean there is this wave. I always go to with the top of the wave, and I'm always moving towards pleasure and health and power in a feminine way, instead of letting everything go down and then run away from fear like everybody else, spending the money to run away from your problems. So I'm always looking for, how can I solve the problems and be ahead? So the Sexual Goddess Retreat in our Queen's Club is a unique opportunity for you as a woman to bloom and blossom and get motivated and learn and practice your power through your own body without any external things. So there are 3 layers in this retreat that the practices require. The first one is the use of your yoni muscles. And why is it important to separate them? Why isn't it enough just to do Kegel exercises where you just squeeze and lift and hold? Why isn't that enough? Is, imagine, my hand, I don't know if it's a good example or not, and I just do this, and that's all I can do. Eventually, everything is going to atrophy and I'm just going to have this one thing. But I have 5 fingers. So it is important for me to use all of them separately. I need to have control of this joint, of this joint, of this joint. It's like I need to have control over my body. And so the muscles inside our pelvic floor are very complex. There are layers and layers. We might, for the video, put some pictures of that, but there are many, many layers, and they atrophy with time, especially the earth muscle. So this is one of the key things for women. I was already 55, I think, 55, when I went and tested. There is a woman from Moscow, and she's a doctor, and she, with scientists, and she has been for 20 years practicing and studying these things, where they developed a special piece that they put into your vagina. It has camera on the top. It's like a plastic penis, but it has a camera on the top. And I'm sitting in front of the computer. It was 300 euros. And I get to see live my yoni muscles and how tight they are. Are they sagging? Are they not? Because if you look at the neck, under the hands, with time, the sagginess that comes up, well, the same happens in the vagina. And so when that happens, is that most women are having the problems with the vagina, is that the prolapsed, if you have children, if you had kids, that stretches it out. There is so many problems that women experiences when she gives birth to a child. It's not a problem, but it's something that she needs to later work on. And it's not just externally getting your belly together. It's like internal muscles. And after 35, the hormone starts to slow down. So the progesterone is super, super, super important. It's like it holds the muscles of the earth. They hold the whole bowl. So in the Sexual Goddess Retreat, the first step, the first 3 videos and the first 3 practices are about working and developing these muscles. And the second piece is, how do you get the energy? So when you're working these muscles, you get your hormones up, you become orgasmic. Of course, it raises your energy as well. But then we need so much more energy in this world because it's like everything is draining us. We don't live a natural life. So like life is so demanding and we get drained so much. And so we do need to get the power. And so the second part is in the program called 4 Elements, that if you purchase that, you practice that as well. That is the part where it's the shamanic part, where we add the elementals, the power of Mother Earth, the fire, the water, and our yoni combined, and we draw this energy in. So today I was at the beach in the morning and I was practicing my earth element, and I added the shamanic practice. I draw the energy in, and then the third piece. So yes, that part is also in the 4 Elements, but in our sexual goddess retreat is where all the practices are pulled together. So they're not separated. It's like the other programs, they're preparing you for it so you can start practicing, because it takes time to get stronger. But in the sexual goddess, we bring those 2 pieces together. And of course, I give a little bit more and more advanced things and so forth. And then we add the third piece. This is where you actually get your cells integrate this sexual energy and power that is your orgasmicity together with the elemental powers, and you add the Sufi practice and an ancient feminine practice together, and you get on the cellular level, you start raising your energy up. So when women have been asking me, Yana, like, how do we raise our sexuality, how we open our sexuality, how we heal our sexuality, how we get the energy, how do we heal the hormones, or menopause, or all the answers to all the problems women have are in the sexual goddess retreat covered if you practice. And and of course that keyword if. And that's why I was like, let's have a Queen's Club, let's practice together, so that you don't have excuses to be lazy and not to do it. And you also want to be able to do it the right way. So one of the things, so I decided today to do the practice with the fire, because, and we'll work on the earth next. So this is the next 4 Saturdays where our meeting. So if you haven't bought the retreat, you can buy it right away and join our Telegram channel and join us with the practicum right now. And I recommend for the next session, everyone to really study and practice their earth elements, so you could show to me how you're twisting and so forth. Today we're going to start with the fire element muscle, and we're going to have a really beautiful geisha practice. So I will have you get on your knees and actually work a little bit differently. You can do it seated, or you can do it standing, or you can do it, I will tell you a cooler way, to work it even more powerfully, so that you open up that coccyx. Because the back of the tailbone area, the coccyx, most women have it blocked. So all the fears and sexual traumas and so forth are stored in the coccyx area. So this exercise is going to help also open that up. Okay. And so she asked me an interesting, I've got in WhatsApp this wonderful question from a lady that just started a wholeness retreat. And she gave a beautiful testimonial for the retreat. And then she asked a really powerful question. She said, I'm used to having clitoral orgasms, and they fill me up. And another girl asked me that, I'm 45, and until 45, all I have been doing was clitoral orgasms. And so the question that is posed by young and middle-aged women is about, oh, Yana, we watched your videos and you said, if I practice fire, I will have too much testosterone and I will be masculine, but I want to get married and I want to be feminine. And so like I try to do, and I'm not doing the fire orgasm, but then I'm not getting enough excitement, and it's the clitoral orgasm that gets my eyes glowing and I feel great. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like, this is so important for me to have this space where women can ask these questions. Because I don't know, are you ladies, can you answer that if your daughter were to ask you? Because all of you here, you have had the womb healing program. You're all for a long time in the healing modalities, and you all can teach yourselves. You're like really powerful women here. And welcome, everyone. We don't have a big group today because I haven't advertised this because we've been traveling for a visa, and we got tired. And when I get tired, I just rest. And I don't have an assistant. And so I'm like, I need to get up. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to send. I need that. But I just rest because I'm a queen. And I had allowed myself like 10 years ago to choose to be free from what I have to do. It's not very good for business. I could have been making a lot more money if I was like, active out there, properly building it. But I am the happiest woman in the world. I consider myself so lucky that I'm actually living a great life, totally balanced. So when I get tired, I don't push myself. I just rest. I surrender and rest. And I focus on what will raise my energy up, and I do that. So I went for massage today. In the morning, I went to the beach and I practiced, and I thought, okay, I want to prepare myself for this evening. I need to generate energy. What will generate energy for me? And I was like, okay, I did the magnet. I warmed my fire up because you always need the fire muscles to get yourself warmed up. And then I focused on the earth. And I raised my energy to level 4. Over that, at this moment, my body doesn't allow me to go. And I reached the level 4, and the field was so strong, I felt like I'm gonna fly in that. So I was like, I had to take a second and stabilize. When I started this in Bali 3 months before I moved to Thailand, when I did the level 4 after my surgery, after really weakening and not practicing for a long time, I did to the level 4, and I felt like I'm gonna throw up. I was like, oh, that's a bit too much for me. I need to do level 3 for a while, and then I need to get back to level 4. But when I do level 3, I don't get activated the field. And so I'm like, okay, I need to get a little bit more. And so just like about 5 before the 4th, I start feeling like the field is getting so strong. And so I push myself into it. I make a little bit of an effort. So I am for making an effort, but I'm not about exhausting myself. And I'm about honoring the body. And this is one of the ways to also rejuvenate yourself. If you get tired, don't have the coffee. Just lay down, rest, and we're going to do the breathing exercise. We're going to start today with a powerful breathing exercise. So all of you who are watching this, we are going to get this practice together. But then, I'm going to cut out our personal work with the group of women that have bought the Sexual Goddess Retreat, that are practicing. We're going to practice with them. Hopefully, they will share how they feel after the practice. And I may be able to share with you, their excited voices. And then I'll give you a closure for you. And so this is what we're going to work with. But I studied a story that I didn't finish that I think is super powerful about this experiment that I did. So I went to this woman. She inserted this camera into my yoni, and I was able to look at it, and it looked great. But the the, you know, it's a really complex inside. It's like soft and pink, and it's like really pretty inside. And but the back muscle was a little bit sagging. And I was able, and she pointed it out for me, because I was like, wow, this is looking good. This is like a young vagina. And I haven't practiced for 3 years. So that's why I went to see where I'm at. Because when I'm practicing, I'm so confident. I feel the energy, I feel everything. But I had a surgery. I fell. I want to share this one more piece. I think it's important for women to know. I allowed myself to go through the winter. And I like to share the truth that I go through and information that I collect, because most women, are too shy. They're afraid of humiliation to speak the truth, and we need a channel where we get the real information. So I think I'm incredible. I love myself as I am. I am shameless, and I'm happy to share with you the difficulties on the journey, and the discoveries on the journey, and the juice on the journey. So if you're shy, if you're afraid, okay, fine. But I want to tell you, I don't like it. I want you to stop caring about what people will think about you. I want you to have the courage to become visible and question and ask and be present and tell yourself, I am great. Aren't you great? Aren't you wonderful? You are, right? I love you. You're amazing. And so, I want to be an example. I want to serve as an example and invite you into, this freedom, because behind the freedom is power. When you're not afraid to be humiliated, no one can ever humiliate you. Underneath one of my videos that we did for the Temple of Love is one of I read the comments, because I have been for so long out. I'm making the videos, it's expensive, it's time consuming, we're doing it for free. So I'm looking, is this a way to invest our time and energy? Is this, people are liking it, people need this, or what? And so I read your comments. It's very important. Take your time to put a like and to say a couple of sweet words. It's important for me. And so there was one of the quote unquote negative comments, and she said, I could feel the energy. And she was like, oh, like, isn't this exhausting for you to be so perfect? Like, she's not letting people fully speak. And I was so happy when I read it. I was like, no, it's not exhausting. It's exciting. Like, change the question. Isn't it exciting to strive for perfection, to strive for being the best of the best that you can be? I'm like, isn't it exhausting to be invisible, scared, constricted, and living in fear and in your trauma? Isn't that exhausting? And not having enough energy, and not having hormones, and not having inspiration? I think that's exhausting. I think this is exciting, to perfect yourself. What else are we here to do? Only get better, like a good wine. We want to get only better with time, with age, and in life. So anyhow, no, welcome to excitement. But when I reached a certain age, after 50, it was there was also a self-limiting belief that when I was a kid, I put my grandmother died when she was 53, and then my grandfather died right after her, 3 months later, and then my father died at 53. So I thought that at 53 is how long we live in our family. And so I was super confident that my mom is going to die at 53 and I'm going to die at 53. So I was like, why bother about the body? Until 53, it's going to be fine. And after that, who cares? So I dedicated myself to the spiritual growth, to energetics, and so forth. And The body just like, God gave me a good body, so I took care of it as much as I can, but I was never focused on the body. I was, focusing on the life after the death because it was coming pretty soon. I didn't have 100 years in front of me. And so when my mother lived over 53, I was like, oh, there is a life after 53. But that program I didn't cancel. So when I hit 53, the black magic began. I fell on one elbow, and for 1 year I was incapacitated. It healed, and then right after that I fell on the second elbow, and this one I needed a surgery. And that was my excuse also not to work out, not to do yoga, and not to practice my feminine practices, because in reality, there is the spring, there is the summer, there is the autumn, and there is the winter. And if you properly don't go through that phase as a woman, allowing yourself to acknowledge that I'm not young anymore. And that was so counterintuitive. And I was like, no, I'm going to fight. I'm young. I'm going to do my exercises. I'm going to do my meditations. I'm going to be young forever. I want to live until I'm 100 years old. And there was nothing I could do. The force, the field was overwhelming, and I was exhausted fighting this thought. I was truly exhausted and I couldn't. So I surrendered. I let it go. I wasn't practicing. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't doing even my meditations. I was deep into spiritual work, into the subconsciousness and so forth. And that's why, now we can, heal the sacred wound for people, because it was important for me to heal the sacred wound so that I want to live again. Without the mask, without the concept, without trying to be sexy, without trying to be young, without trying to be good, without trying to be liked. I was like, I died and I'm starting a new life. And now I am me. I am real. I love myself. I am amazing. I have incredible qualities, incredible wisdom, wonderful charisma. And now I want to perfect it. I want to make it better. I want to be better. I want to live longer. And I want to live as a beautiful young being. So now, but it's natural now. Now I want to be connected to the gene of youthfulness. But not because, I was afraid to get old and to die. I got old and I died. So for a while, I didn't practice anything. And it was like even a challenge to color my hair. I have a lot of gray hair. And I had to overcome a lot of internal fears because I have a beautiful young husband and he just loves me. And I would be like, you're free. Maybe you can, go there, go to somebody younger and whatever, because I don't have the energy right now to keep it up. It's not that I'm exhausted. I just don't want to. And then I've heard it from another beautiful older woman she was around my age. And she said, I'm going through winter and it's okay. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. One day I will share this with women. If I get on the other side, I will share that experience. That yes, sometimes there is a time where we need to get humble and we need to go into a deep healing of other of the 7 bodies. And it's not just about sexuality and pleasure and feeling good. And it's a time, and it hits after 50 when people start facing the life and death concepts and so forth. So anyhow, my winter is over. I'm back into the autumn, into the rich and beautiful and delicious space. And so I'm excited to be practicing with all of you this for the next 4 weeks. And then after that, our Queen's Club is going to run once a month. At the end of the month, we're going to get together and continue to practice. So everyone who bought the Goddess Retreat, the Sexual Goddess Retreat, you get, take a look on the website. I think you have up to 6 months, free Queen's Club opportunity to join and practice for free. And then after that, there will be a fee that if you wish to continue, great, I'm going to share with you more advanced things that I know. Okay, so I hope that this was encouraging and interesting for you. And so now I want to, finish the last piece about that vagina practice. And so she looks at it and I go, wow. She goes, well, this is a little bit starting to get sagging. I'm like, well, I haven't practiced for 3 years. I haven't been squeezing my muscles. And and I said, can you show me somebody young, like a 20-year-old, 30-year-old that is better than me? Because I am about a challenge. Like, give me a challenge and I want to test my tools. Because I'm always looking for the best tools that there are out there. And I'm always investing into myself. And, I reversed my hormonal and aging processes at 45 with intense practice of the sexual goddess, not, practices. And here I was 55 and I was like, I'm curious what will happen now, because 45 and 55, there's 10 years. And I've been through menopause for over 6 years. I haven't bled at all. And I was happy about it. Like, some women want and they're proud. I'm like, I was praying, when is the bleeding gonna stop? And so it stopped. For me, it's, we have different, values. So, like, one of my teachers from the sexuality school, she was like, oh, you're not bleeding and I'm still bleeding. I'm like, good for you. That's not what I want. That was bothering me too much. I am happy and blooming. I don't have any wrinkles on my forehead. I don't have any Botox. I glow naturally. And right now I have makeup for the camera. I never wear makeup. My skin looks phenomenal. I'm super happy with myself. And so I think my practices work. So I'm like super happy for now. But when I saw that, I was like, show me a beautiful young vagina so that I can compete with her. So I would see how long it's going to take me to get there, and if I can get there. I mean, yeah, this is me. Like it, hate it, whatever. That's how I create the best programs, because I challenge myself all the time. And what she said was revolutionary. She said, I can't. There is none. They are in worse situation. They are in horrible situation. They're soft, they're weak, especially if anybody has done any laser situation. She goes, their walls are totally thin and like crepey, like an old woman that has the crepiness, all like little wrinkles. The young girls that do the laser things is like that. So I wanted to share this with you. Don't do it. Don't do whatever the society tells you. Get the lips, get the boobs, get the silicone, get the this. Don't do it. Become a sexual goddess and go through wholeness retreat and fall in love with yourself. I think we're fucking amazing women. We are. All we need is to just deeply fall in love with ourselves. But we do need some practices and some work to do to feel. It's not enough to just say, oh, I am great and perfect and this is enough. I constantly work on myself, to feel that I'm going up the hill. Because in life, if you're not working on yourself, then you're going down the hill. So it's, the energy is always, we have to lift it up, otherwise it's going to take us down, the gravity. It works. So yeah, then we went for tea with her, and she said, I've been working on this for 20 years. I said, well, I only have been for 10 years with my methodology, and I've received amazing results. And now I'm curious how I can get it back. And so, and then I tested my body, and I'm at level 4. So before I was at level 5 and 6. So when we start, twirling with you, I recommend you start from whatever the smallest amount of number of level that you can start, and just build it up in your body for a month, and then raise it up, and then raise it up, and then raise it up. But you have to do it the right way. So, we'll practice together. Okay. So that was a little bit introductory, and yeah, and the last piece that I didn't mention about the clitoral orgasm. So, to do or not to do. So, ladies, do you have an answer for that, or do you want me to answer that, or what would you say? Anybody wants to share? And we have some people that are Russian English speakers. So, Ksenia, if it's easier for you to say it in Russian because it's faster and quicker, you can, and then I will translate. Do you want to share? Suzanne, Ksenia, Anya, like,
Yana, can I ask you exact what's the question is? I have also I have thoughts. You gave me really thoughts about the clitoris orgasm. I try to analyze the problematic for me, like a younger person, like when I was 18. I felt like a lot of sexuality in me, and sure, I got this clitoris orgasm. So this is first what you do, but I was wondered always. I like myself. And what could be one of the reasons could be that I got the aggressivity from the manner part. So I was not
I don't understand aggression from men.
like I understand now. Not after this orgasmic, so clitoris orgasmic, the man, also the young boys, they were got more aggressivity from them against me. I always like I understand it's something with sexuality. Um, um,
Okay, wait. So this is excellent. I wanna speak it on camera. Okay, so this is powerful. She said when she was doing whatever she would do the clitoral orgasm, she felt that the younger men were treating her more aggressively. Like she felt the sexual aggression. Okay, so we've got a wonderful question from a lady from our group, and she said whenever she would have a clitoral orgasm, she noticed that the younger man, she's in her 40s, she's a beautiful lady and very feminine, and she has daughters, and we are good friends for a long time, for many years. She's in my school, and we're also good friends. She's actually coming soon to Phuket for us to practice together. I'm so excited. Are you in Vietnam right now? You just arrived in Vietnam. Oh, you arrived in Bangkok. Oh my God. They just started that the war with Cambodia. And I was gonna tell you, don't fly to Bangkok, fly direct to Phuket. For everybody, I am living in Phuket now in Thailand, which is the most magnificent beaches, the best food. And if any one of you wants to fly and have a beautiful sexual goddess retreat with me privately to practice, you're welcome. After, everyone has to get the sexual goddess online retreat, but you call me, we can make a package for you, and then you can come and practice in private with me as well, or we can do it online. I have a couple of people that I'm doing online individual practices with them, and then we also have the group practices with the Queen's Club. So everything is available because it's exciting, and I'm 56 now. And I want to live until 100, and it's my challenge to see how long can I stay natural and healthy and blooming, and to share this with you. So Ksenia asked, why is that? Well, and the other girl asked the question about, like, if she does the clitoral orgasm, is that gonna keep her masculine? So this is the frame of the question. Okay, anything else about the clitoral orgasm? Anybody else want to answer or share before I give my answer and we get to practice?
I understand now that's because of the fire. So this more masculine sexuality I got to use, also to try out the first step when you start becoming orgasmic. That's what my answer now. So for me,
Okay.
Okay.
Suzanne, what do you think?
bye.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Suzanne.
Sur.
Thank you,
Thank you,
beautiful.
beautiful.
Hello,
Hello,
Suzanne.
Suzanne.
Hi. I do feel we need the fire. We need
I still enjoy clitoral orgasms outside of a relationship, but it does release the pheromones, and men don't want to sleep with a man; they want to sleep with a woman. So that's why it's important that we have the G spot orgasms and hopefully the cervical orgasms too, in my mind.
Yeah, yeah. So actually, I feel and I don't know here, but I feel the pheromones. I feel my pheromones only when I get the G spot activated. When I get that lubrication there, I call it the water orgasm. Only then it's like the flower opens. And I will have that wave sometimes come and hit me, and I'm like, oh, blood, come and smell. It was like, and there's sometimes he will tell me, he's like, oh, what a smell. I'm like, really? And I'll go smell myself because it's intoxicating. It's, thank you, my love. It's an incredible smell that opens up. And usually when I feel that wave, I usually feel wet and hot. So, I don't know your experience. So for me, when I do the fire, um, I don't feel the scent. So for me, that's not an activation. You do, Suzanne. You do. Okay, great. That's why we need the club. You know. Okay, because we only know the truth is through practice and through personal experience. Yes, what turns you on is what's the right thing for you. So my explanation for the clitoral orgasm is that first of all is incredibly important, and I never advocate not having that. you know? But the problem is when the women don't are using that as the only orgasm as their way of life, because then what happens during the clitoral orgasm, you get the blood to the external lips. So it's an art it's how to call it, it's not the superficial, it's on the surface. It activates the only external parts of you, the muscles, the things, and it releases the energy for a very short period of time. It's electrical. So it's electrifying, it's exciting. Like, why would I want to skip it? I love it, but that's that addition. So if I only use that, then it's going to give me a quick release from stress. Like women, why do they buy all kind of, stimulants and so forth? Like, I don't use it. Once, I was offered that to try, and I tried, and yes, yeah, it's the name of it, the stimulators. How do they call them? But I cannot hear you. What's the name of them? The the vibrator. Yeah, the vibrator. I don't know because I don't use. Um, it's great, but I really felt like almost raped and trapped and unnatural because it's too much. It's not a natural way of stimulation, and you have no control over that, and you're like a toy, and you're like, whatever. I'm like, I don't like that. I like to be in control of my body because I want to get that energy, raise it, and nourish my chakras and nourish my beingness. And the first thing I do is I raise my sexual energy and I bring it into my womb. And then from my womb, I bring it further into my heart, and then I work with chakras. So those are more advanced practices that we will do in our Queen's Club. What do you do with the energy once you raise it with that field? What do you do? So this is deep advanced Tantra that I have studied and practiced before I got married. That's the power, that's the energy that gave me the confidence at 49 to call in the one. And I wanted a younger man. That's written in my horoscope, in the stars, that I will marry an older man and I will marry a younger man. I already married an older man. I needed to marry a younger man. So it wasn't just in my head, it was a program internally. And so, I knew that I had to offer something to him. And so I was working hard to be lovable, to be, valuable for somebody young. So, and Ksushi, you look amazing today. By the way, I love your hair. I can't believe she's in Bangkok. So excited. I say, I cannot hear you, Ksusha. Unmute yourself. We're taking a little break for a moment. I'll get back. I remember my thought.
I have a next computer for my daughter, so I can speak. I can say hi.
Yeah, I confuse you for another Xenia. We have a beautiful young girl that is in the Sexual Goddess Retreat, and she had a personal session for healing her sexuality, and it was extraordinary. Like, she was so blocked, and it was a powerful healing. So I thought it was her when you were last time. Xenia hasn't had the wholeness retreat yet. Suzanne, tell her. Suzanne has done it 5 times. Tell her she needs it. Tell her it's amazing.
It is amazing. I'm doing it for the 5th time. And I've been doing personal healing with Yana too. So as I release some of my sexual trauma, it's so helpful to go back to this to keep from slipping back into victimhood or aggressor. It's like, no. So
Yeah.
I've been sharing my favorite parts of the wholeness retreat with Yana too. Like, she has the greatest sound bites, and I hope she'll share some, because it just goes right to it, and you're like, oh, I can let that go now. So I love it.
Yeah. Suzanne has been writing some quotes from the retreat because she's going through. And she has been sending them to me so that I can put that for Instagram and Telegram. I mean, like, I worship this woman. She's amazing. We had a healing session for her. She immediately donated $100. And then the next day, she says, God spoke to me, and I feel like I want to buy a session. And I told her that she needs a continuation for that session. And for the first one we did, because in group, it's still like 30 minutes is not enough. I didn't expect her to go so deep. I thought she's going to be something, light. She goes right into the most powerful, the most scary part for all women, the sexual trauma of a child. And so I was like, honey, you need more. Buluchka, it's hot. Can you turn on the cold, please? And I was like, I will give you special discounts just because, like, I feel you need it. Suzanne is she's a retired woman. She's over 60. She doesn't have extra money at all. And so I was like, I love you so much. You bought she's got all the retreats, all the programs, and she's never had a private session. And since a wholeness, I kept wanting her to do a private session. I was like, I need you. You come here, girl. I need to get my magic into you, because I feel how I can wake you up. I feel what is in there blocking you from really shining big, because you're huge. Like, you are gorgeous. You were writing to me. It's okay, because I'm going to show this on YouTube, what I'm talking right now. Yeah, thank you. Ah, you're my favorite. It's like, and she wrote to me after the private session, and she goes, I never received so much personal attention. For 3 hours, I was looking at her with so much love. And this is one of my gifts. Like, I put the light, the cameras right on the person, and I can show where is the shadow and where is your light. And I'm fearless. I am cautious and careful and graceful and so forth. I watch, not to hurt somebody's feelings, but I always push the boundaries a little bit harder and a little bit harder. And that's why the privates are so powerful, because it's like, I'm merciless. You surrendered. You paid the money. I take no prisoners. I take you there. And you feel that you deserve to get, for your money, you deserve to get in deeper. It's not, we don't do cheap little things so you can escape. We create a big container where you invest into yourself and can dive in. And so And so at the end, Suzanne had the most brilliant private session. And then at the end, she goes, I was not used to looking for so long at myself in the camera. And she goes, I know I'm a beautiful soul, but I still have to, accept that I'm also beautiful in this physical body. And that's why for you, Suzanne, I started from praising myself. I feel like this is what I need to infuse by example. And this is what one of the practices we're going to do today about accepting our greatness. And you're going to do it, all of you. And that's thank you to Suzanne. I love this moment. And so anyhow, I offered to Suzanne a discount. And I was like, you can pay whatever you want, honey. You can give $100, $200, $300, whatever your pension allows, you do it. But I want you on a private session. You are special to me. Because she supports me. She supports the group. She supports me. She's amazing. And I was like, and she's retired and she doesn't have children. She has no place to go get money. She's a caregiver. She gives to everybody. And I was like, I want to give to you. I want to take care of you. It's your time to receive, girl. You've been amazing to me. You're the most, you are highly valuable in our school. And you're most dear to my heart for some reason. I have a lot of love for you. It's maybe because you have been through everything. And maybe because you have been so generously caring for me and helping me out. It built a channel of love. You give, you shall receive. So, I have a very special, I have very beautiful bond with Xenia. Amazing. She is one of my most favorites. And I invited her to Phuket and she was like, if I come to Phuket, will you find time for me to meet you? I was like, of course. I cannot wait to see you. I cannot wait for us to practice. But first, buy the Sexual Goddess Retreat. Because I want you practicing. I don't want to just walk on the beach and talk nonsense. I want you to twirling. I want to see your body. I want to put my hands. I want to bless you with what I know. I want to support you on your journey. And I want to take you to the best restaurants in here with Russian and Georgian foods that I'm like, can lick my fingers from. And you pay for me. This is your gift to me. She's like, I want to bring some gift from Switzerland. I'm like, I don't need anything. You come and we have fun. We go to the beach. We go to restaurants. You can pay for the trips, for the things. And I'll give you my knowledge and my love. It's like, it's free for you. I don't offer it. I don't throw it around. It's incredibly valuable. But with some people that over the years, she just came into my school like Suzanne and she bought the womb healing program. And then she came to Bali and she had a 1 day with me on the beach and she paid $1,000 for one session to have me for the whole day and to take her to the beach. So I was generous enough and we spent 2 days in there. So I'm like, you give, you shall receive. I'm the most generous giving person. I love that. I think it's a queen quality. I practice it my whole life. That's why I always attract generous men, because I'm the most generous woman that I can be. And I honor that in me. My husband loves that quality. Once in a while I tell him, what do you like about me? It's important for me to hear what qualities do I need to perfect, what qualities do I need to eliminate, what qualities I can be prideful for. It's important to have that praise. We need it. And so anyhow, I created a beautiful bond with Xenia. And when I was going through my winter time, I would call her, and she's a singer and she's heart opener. She lives in Switzerland. She speaks both, Russian and English. And she has a lot of beautiful, delicious feminine energy. And she allows me to be as I am. Like with Suzanne, I don't have to be a pretty girl. I don't have to be goody good. I don't have to be professional. I get to be human. And still, they acknowledge that I'm a teacher. They acknowledge that I'm a step ahead and they honor my knowledge. If they didn't do that, wouldn't work. I'm sharing with you one of the things, because we discussed it with my husband. I was like, why do I have so much love for them? And for some people, I'm willing to give so much extra, where others have to pay so much and wait in line. And some I say, you better buy something, and I don't want to work. I'm not ready to connect with them. Like, why is that? Well, what's happening? And he said, Yana, you are so advanced. You are so far above what most people are. But you're so down to earth, and you're so vulnerable and so real with your journey. So the women that wants to play on par with you are not interesting for you, because they cannot enrich you in any way. And I get bored because they tell me things I've learned 20 years ago, and they want to share with me this and that. Like, honey, been there, done it 20 years ago. Like, you cannot talk to the professor of mathematics, 1 + 1 is 2. Yeah, I've learned it 50 years ago, So it's like, to be a girlfriend, you have to be on par. So in some things, you have to be better than me so you can be enriching. And so when it's a fine line between a client and a friend, where you give the love like a mother, like a girlfriend, and so forth. But it's like, how do you hold that boundary? Or when I'm leading a group, it's like, I invite you to speak and then I will cut you short. It's because I have to understand where for the group this is not right or too much. Or for example, Anya, she's here online with us. She had a most powerful private session when her father died, and we did a healing for her. And she did 3 months with me, private individual sessions every Saturday she had for a while, and so forth. And she has all the retreats as well. And she lives in New York, and she has 3 kids, and she's amazing. And so every time she came for the Temple of Love, she would get on the camera and she would say, ladies, you have to do what Yana tells you to do. You have to buy her privates. You have to buy her retreats. I'm telling you, you have to do it. And I would just interrupt that and talk over her. Of course, I later listen, I reflect, I'm like, why am I doing that? And I was thinking like, I need to apologize to her and to share with her why I'm doing that. It's like, it's so valuable. It's coming from her heart. It's her way to say, thank you, teacher. I love you, teacher. Thank you for that. But this is the thing I want to share for the women that are from Russia, from Ukraine, and so forth, because I have gone to school, in the Soviet Union. So I'm with you. I understand what is behind that. I have the same qualities I had to overcome. So, but the reason I'll share it with you, because it might be helpful with your husband, with your children. So whenever I bring something up, it's always to benefit long-term to many, many people. I only raise questions like that. And what we're supposed to be practicing, we're going to get to practice, but you got me going. This tea was phenomenal. Thank you, my love. I think I got the energy. And I'm going to get back to that question that we started, ladies. We're having a little like group warm up, like warm, cozy life conversation. And so this is the situation. If you have an authority, meaning if, for example, you're an opera, like Oprah Winfrey or Tony Robbins or somebody that is known, or in your community a teacher, or I do have a small popularity. People know Yana good. I do have a following, and I have people that come to me from all over the world, and they're like, wow, we got to get to Yana good. And they honor the time and the space and the energy and the experiences that they go through. So it's not about pridefulness, but it's like, I work hard to become someone of value. And I don't sell and market and advertise myself. I just hold and nourish myself. So I always have energy to give. If I don't have it, I don't give it. So I choose myself first. This is what I'm teaching, self-love. It's in the school of love. It's in the real way. And so if you're not a figure of authority, you cannot tell people, I am telling you to do this. That's not a testimonial. It doesn't inspire people. They're like, who are you to tell me what to do? So when you tell your husband or your children, I am telling you, especially teenagers, don't do this and don't do that, they're still going to do whatever on earth they want to do. So unless you're an authority for them, by example, and they actually have that reverence towards you, not just love and connection, but also a reverence, like my mom is great. If she is saying something, I better listen. So the way you give a testimonial or the way you talk to people in general, it's like, I'm showing this as an example. You say, I have taken this course. I have taken a womb healing course. I have taken private sessions with Yana. I've done private healing with Yana. And I am so grateful for the changes I have experienced in my life. And I highly recommend everyone to have this unique experience. She is my favorite teacher. And so I get so many private, amazing testimonials. They're pouring heartfelt, and I don't use them, but I know we need to get them out there. And so I realized finally, like, I am safe to start teaching women how to give true testimonials. Because on people's websites, there is so much lies. I'm like, if I put in ChatGPT, create like a page for my website, it also creates a testimonial. It says Susan from Minnesota, said this and this. And I'm like, oh my God. And it looks so like to the point. And people lie. I don't want to lie. I want to be a magnet for the real. And I'm like, women need to learn how to praise, how to adore, because this is something I do for my husband all the time. I love, worship, and adore him. And it's a skill to elevate another being by being vulnerable and grateful. And that's how I also teach and educate you, by sharing my vulnerability. But that's how I'm elevating. I share, like, I did this, I was feeling like this, and this teacher did this with me. She put this into my vagina. I saw this, and I felt like I want to improve. It's a real way, and then the energy grows. And it's an interesting thing. When you give from that space to another, you feel elevated. When you're coming from a controlling place, I'm telling you, you need to do it because, like I did it, it was great. You go down, your energy goes down. And people are not receptive. It's not hard. Doesn't open up the heart. And so, but when you come from that space, like, these are the things, I've tried. And for me, this is what I felt. And for that, I am so grateful. And I wish and recommend everyone to have your own experience. Then do you see my body language changes? You're honoring, loving, and elevating whoever or whatever it is you're sharing, and you're learning not to be an authoritative, but to be a feminine giver and sharing of your experience. And you and people go, really? You did so much on yourself. And they want to compliment you. And they go, yeah, I see how much more feminine you have become, how much this, how much that. And the conversation gets on this heart level. And it's so beautiful. And so I wanted to share with you the technique that I'm using. You're experiencing that. And in the club, it's gonna, we learn it by example. But like, I like to give you the technology as well. Does this make sense? Do you agree with that? Because sometimes I question, I'm like, people need to say whatever they want to say in any way they want to do. And that's true too. But being the hardcore perfectionist who doesn't have her own children to control, my job is to exhaust you to perfection. So at my first videos, when I was just launching on the feminine practices, I was so scared of critical comments. And if somebody said anything negative, I would delete them. There was just one maybe in a while. I'd be like, what? She misunderstood, so I would just delete because I wanted only the good things. And now when I read, I'm like, oh, great, honey. Thank you for sharing. You are exhausted because you don't have sexual energy. That's why you feel exhausted. I've been there. I know how it feels. You cannot give when you're dry. You can only give when you're full and you're juicy. Then you can, make other people happy as well. And you have the energy to perfect yourself for the pleasure of everyone who sees you. Okay. So as Ksenia said, the reason the men respond aggressively for the woman on the fire orgasm is yes, because the clitoris is a penis, is the female penis. And so that is your inner man gets the charge. So it doesn't mean you have to reject it. It's part of your body. It's designed for you. It gives you a quick boost. And it's great for stress and tension. So why do men come and have aggressive sex with women? They're stressed. And they want a quick release. And they feel exactly what you feel with the clitoral orgasm. Not exactly, it's different, but they have this energy boost, like, and they feel better. They feel more relaxed afterwards. So why they're aggressive to women that are more masculine or in that process? Because they sense it's a guy. They sense that inner man and they want to compete. And men compete by conquering, by taking you down, by, to the ground. How do they fight? They want to drop you to the ground. So it's a wrestling. So it's natural. And so to the other ladies that asked the question about the clitoral orgasm, it's an important part. Don't skip it. It's part of it, and we're going to practice right now how to deepen and use that to actually, expand the cave of the dragon, the lower part of your pelvic floor, the coccyx, and to warm it up and so forth. We're going to do it because it's super important. Those muscles get congested for women constantly sitting in the car, in this and so forth. Even when they're walking, everybody's blocked. And so today the exercise is to warm up and open up that part, and also our whole vagina in a geisha way. So I think it's exciting. All right, so I just gave you the diagnostic, and I showed to you that when you're walking, as most women have blocked, if you turn to me with your back. So most women have it blocked in their coccyx right here. This is not fully activated for women. It's called the seat of the dragon, where the kundalini is rising, and for women this is blocked. And also the second block is in here. So when women are walking, and men as well, it's like this is really not moving, and it should be flowing here and here. So you can turn back to me. And so how does that work? So try now, let's make this adjustment. We're gonna work with the lower body first. So you can feel your pelvic floor coming forward. Yeah, forward, yes. And put your hands in here like this, both hands. Feel these muscles. So these muscles are tight for women because their butt is sticking out and their pelvic floor is tilted like this, backwards, and these muscles are shortened, and so they're not working. So now I want you to put your feet equally, yeah. Okay, and now I want you to distribute your weight to the heels, but right here. So feel at the center of your heel, and here, like the pressure is going from here, okay? Connect to those parts on the sides. Connected? Do you feel already a little bit different? Yeah? Yeah, it's like activated a little bit different, okay? And now, see if you can tilt the pelvic floor a little bit more forward. No, not back, but actually forward. And this is gonna squeeze your butt muscles. And you're gonna feel the tension going from here. Yeah, and yeah, lift it up, lift it up, lift it. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I
and
really
feel the
do.
tension. Yes, you're feeling it here. Exactly, exactly. Okay. Okay, you can do a couple of times like that. Yeah, let's do this, back and forth, tilting it back and forth. Good, but keep focusing on your heels. This is good to do barefoot and really focusing the pressures. You're feeling the difference.
Yes.
So now I want you to walk for me. Let me start a new video. So any questions first? First, let's get to questions or comments. Was this valuable? Do you have like, thank you, Yana, I've learned something, or are you reminded? Do we have anything sweet you can say that we can insert in the video for others? Or we just move into practice and then you give me feedback? Whatever you want. No pressure. Free will.
Thank you, Yana, for explaining about the testimonials. I really got that, because that's how I feel when I go on a website and someone says, you got to do this. It's like, why do I have to do it? You didn't touch me.
Yeah, who are you to tell me what to do, right?
Yeah, yeah. And it's unconscious. It doesn't mean I don't respect you or that it wasn't valuable for you, but I didn't feel it. So feeling it is important.
Yeah, but if somebody says, oh, I had a bleeding womb and then I had a session and my womb stopped bleeding and I'm so grateful and thank you, Yana, you know. Yeah, with Suzanne, if we haven't finished your story. So Suzanne does this group healing for everyone. Okay, she blows me out of the water. She blows everybody out of the water. And then the next day I offer, she does a contribution, which is she could have done from a little bit, medium or high. She chooses the highest level of contribution. And then the next day I offer to her a private session for whatever she can pay for it above $100. I was like, you can pay $100 or anything above that, since you are, on pension and so forth, whatever you want to do. So she's like, oh, I just transferred $500 to you. I felt called by God. And I was like, oh, I'll do 2 sessions for you for that. Because I feel like, women don't have money. They have the money for what they need. So when you choose, you need your womb. When you choose, you need your sexuality. When you choose that you need to heal your sacred wound, and you honor the person who can help you in your life quest. I'm like, wow, who do you become? That's the path to become a queen of your life. The generosity, the truth, the self-love, that's the path. And so I was like, wow, this is like so beautiful. Thank you so much. Can I give you more? And then we have this powerful transformational session with Suzanne. And the next day we're, going for visa. And I'm like, Suzanne, I want to do a second session with you. I want to get you to know you better and see what else is out there that, I can support that, because usually a woman needs 3 sessions. Layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. On the first layer, only that external enemy comes up. Me and the event. Me and the rape. Me and we're dealing with the enemy. We need to go into deep forgiveness of this experience on a cellular level with full conscious Christ consciousness of why there is nobody to blame. And that liberates our body from so much tension. That liberates our soul into so much light. But that's only step 1. When we go deeper, you're healing the karmic situation. Why is this kind of events are happening with you? Why do you experience aggression from men? And it's not just because of clitoral orgasm and this and that and the other thing. We go into why you're attracting aggression in that way. For me, for example, one of the biggest fears I've always had was rape. And one of my biggest fears to fully shine and fully be beautiful and walk on the streets feeling like sexy, beautiful goddess, not like, sexually alluring, but like turning it on inside of me. The biggest fear was like if I don't have my husband walking next to me, or it's not daytime in La Jolla on Prospect where it's safe. I always feel like I want to shut down and be a little bit invisible. If it's the dark or something, I cover up because I have this fear that I would be raped. And yes, I have that first level of explanation. Is this interesting? Should I explain this? There's a first layer that when I was growing up, my mom kept saying, because she thought I was the most beautiful girl in the world, and she would say, I just hope you don't get pregnant until before you get married. I just hope you don't have sex, and I hope you don't get pregnant. So since I'm 14, when my hormones are raging, I'm being programmed, don't get pregnant. God forbid. And so much fear in that, what she, that she put into it, aggression and fear. And so I'm like, I will not have sex. I will not get pregnant. And, I was in Armenia, so guys are crazy there, the teenagers and older and so forth. They want to attack. We live in an unsafe world of really unsatisfied men. And so, it's dangerous for beautiful girls, vulnerable, to be out there in the streets when they're, starting to bloom and their sexuality is coming out. And so, that was my mantra. I don't have kids. I don't want, I still am afraid to get pregnant. I don't want to get pregnant. Now I know the karmic reason behind it. But that's the first layer, is my mom is to blame. This is her program. And so healing my sexuality, opening up my sexuality, but still I was like, I can only do it when I feel safe with my husband, or safe with in a private retreat with a woman, but not walking on the streets. I always dimmed my light. And why am I so powerful right now on visibility? Is because I healed that inner fear, and I realized we'll only live one time, and God is watching, and I have healing, and I have angels, and it's not going to happen to me. If I don't have that aggressor inside of me, I'm not going to attract the aggressive energy unless I am reckless. Of course, if you go at night to a club or something, that can happen. But during the day, going around my business, why should I attract that? Well, we still have to be careful. We live in a really crazy world, but we don't have to live from a space of fear. And I wanted to heal that deep internal fear. Like, I want to live from love. I want to live from peace. I want to live from truth. So it's like, enough. I mean, enough. Enough of being afraid. Enough of being small. Enough of living in a small box. Because it's time of wars. We can die any moment. When are we going to leave? And so I'm going to recommend an amazing movie for you all. I'm going to send it into our Telegram chat, the link my husband found. It was made in 1991 in America. And I think this is an Oscar, Nobel Prize winning movie. And of course, it's probably not very known. I never heard of it, and I'm from America. And it's called Defending Your Life with Meryl Streep. And I'm going to send the link to all of you. And it's unbelievable. But a great, and we watched it with Russian voicing. So I'm going to send, I can send you in Russian. I think, Ksenia, I sent it to you already in Russian, the Russian version. So it's what happens after you die. What happens after you die? And you're going to see all of your life, and you're going to see the intentions, Have you lived from fear? Have you lived from love? Have you been able to fulfill your full potential? Or have you lived small? And it's like really powerfully, beautifully presented. And it's between a woman, and the woman is much more, courageous in this lifetime than he is, and they fall in love. And so, after the death, they go to reincarnate in different things, and he has to get back to Earth to keep relearning the lessons, and she get to go to a different place because she learned those lessons. She lived fearlessly. She was not afraid to die. She was not afraid to live. And why I recommend for women to see it, first of all, it's a powerful spiritual movie, but Meryl Streep, I am in awe of her. I always knew that, I always loved her. I always thought she's incredible. But in this movie, I fell in love in a different way. And I was like, I have to share her. I have to edify her. I don't want to just tell you, you have to watch, she's great. I'm going to tell you how she touched me. The most delicate allure and flirtatiousness in the most feminine, delicate, gracious ways. So subtle, so powerful. I'm having goosebumps. I was like, blood, watch her how she's looking and flirting. And you can feel the love and so forth. It's extraordinary. And all they do, just a little kiss. But it's the way she looks. And so I'm like, you get to understand why some women become the greatest, world renowned actresses, is because their sensuality is not suppressed by fear. They are allowed to feel. Either they haven't been raped, either they have healed that somehow. I don't know what their deal is. But some women on camera can emit the subtle sensuality, on demand. They control their astral body together with the physical body, and they become great. We know them by name. Millions of people know them by name. Everybody knows Sophia Loren, Marilyn Monroe, Meryl Streep, Angelina Jolie. Megan Fox is the copy of Angelina Jolie, more beautiful, younger, but why she never could match it? Not the same level of energy. So we're not judging her. I'm just have been always studying the great women. How can I become a great woman? What makes women great? I study to compete, not to be better than them. But I adore them. It's like the estafeta in Russian. In English, when you're running with the fire, in Olympics, people run with the fire and then they give it to the next and the next runs with it. You pass it forward. So we just evolve as a humanity. We get better so that men are happy with us. We want them to be happy. We want them to love, worship, and adore us. And some women say, oh, I don't need to be loved, worshipped, and adored. I just want a friend. Fine. But I want you to know, he has that deep need to love, worship, and adore a woman. So if it's not you, he's going to adore an actress. If you're fine with that, fantastic. I prefer my husband to love, worship, and adore me. And I got that. And so I practice. I give it to you. So let's practice. Okay. So let's start from breathing first. So yeah, I recommend this movie. Do watch her. So why I also remembered about this movie. Bulat and I are married for 7 years, and this is the first time he tells me and shows me this movie. He saw it when he was a teenager. And as a teenager, he was in Kazakhstan, and then he went to study in St. Petersburg, where he was a foreigner. And so, he didn't have the passport, he didn't have the Russian citizenship, so he had to be invisible. He had to practice invisibility. and he had to leave in fear. And so all of us know those situations for different reasons. We get to experience this when we're not allowed to feel safe and full on and in, you know, and full possibilities. And he said that when he saw that movie, he cried and he said, I wish I could meet a woman for whom I will overcome that fear, like that character in the movie, and become the greatest version of myself. And he goes, when I met you 7 years ago, actually, I was in Thailand, is when I saw you walking, I had that inner voice to tell me, she's the one, she's my queen. And I started just crying. I was bawling. It was amazing. I sat there and I cried and I cried and I cried. We were, going to Malaysia to do a border run for our visa. So we had 6 hours driving. And he goes, I downloaded a movie. Will you watch it with me? And he said, it's one of my favorite movies. And that was the second time he watched it. And that was with me. And so he looked at me with his eyes full of tears. He goes, and you kept telling me about what will happen if you get older and this and that. He goes, you are my prize. I am with you until you're 100 years old or whatever you let us live. Like, I am with you every step of the way. In this lifetime, in the next lifetime, I am with you. And I was just crying, feeling that I healed that I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable enough part. But that was, those tears were nourishing my heart to know how treasured I am. Even when I went through the winter with a young guy. That's why he loved me and supported me and nourished me through that time, is because he wanted a woman for whom he would become the greatest version of himself. So, some of you may think, oh, you're so lucky you have bulat, I don't have bulat. I am telling you the truth. Every man has this program inside of him. He wants it for his mom to acknowledge him, or for his wife or his daughter, but some woman he needs to be, through her eyes, through her womb, he needs to be felt and seen as the God walking on earth. Because that's the only way we open up our full potential, is when we integrate the divinity, the soul, into the avatar. In this material world, we are not just the body. We do have a soul. We do get to live. I 100% believe in that, because I've died a few times and I have come back. So I know it firsthand, not just studying the other people that have died, because I was fascinated. I started to study that, and it was part of my deep spiritual work. Is there life after death? What was it, everything that I saw and experienced? So, there is life. And so this life is your opportunity to open up all of your gene codes, to live up all of your potential. And in your astrological chart, you have a mission that you come here to fulfill. And if you are too scared to fulfill it, when you die, you're going to feel very sad that you wasted your whole incarnation for fear. Because one day you will die anyhow, some way, somehow. And so, yeah, it's a beautiful, powerful movie that I hope you all watch. Okay, time to practice. So let us take a little break. Any feedback, ladies? Anything you want to share? How was this for you? Yeah, we're good. I was well, that's the channel. That's the beauty of the group channel. When I tell people I feel everything, You know, some say, oh, I don't know what you think. I just take it through my story, the signals that I get. I cannot tell, okay, Ksenia, let's talk about you, you know, or Suzanne, we're going to talk about you. I can't do that. So whatever signals I feel, I'm like, okay, let me go through. And when I mention your name, that means you are my beloved. I'm not to shame you. That means I trust you. I only bring you up stories only with people that I worked personally, that I know they know that I love, care, and adore and support 100%. For a lifetime, you know, if I'm going to be working and it's available. Whenever you have a problem, you can always book a private session. And if I have the time and energy for it, I'm there for you. And I think it's priceless. Because in this crazy crisis world, instead of going crazy and having fights at home, you better come and solve it. And there are people that I get up at night and do it because they're in a deep crisis and they call up me at 11. And if I do not feel sleeping, you know, I go outside and sit down in the hall and I just do it for them. And then I'm like, oh my God, I ruined my day. Like I cannot get up in the morning, but my soul is so satisfied because I just saved somebody from divorce and her husband from heart attack or a family from falling apart. Sometimes, you know, I respond even like that. And I feel that's my service. That's my journey. Okay. So, Анечка, что-нибудь скажешь нам? Ты не обиделась? Мы вырежем это. Анюта. Все хорошо? Ты со мной? Я тебя ни в чем не обидела?
Oh, no.
Окей. Хорошо. Спасибо, моя родная. Что я тебя использовала, но как бы никто не знает, никто не понимает. Только Ксюша здесь подслушивает на русском.
I'm like always going to work on Saturday. So, you know, I was watching my little one and then I have to go to work now. So I'm just listening from the car.
I was thinking to do it on Sundays, but on Sunday mornings, some people go to church. So I don't know. I can do it on Sundays, but I feel that Saturdays sometimes where people have to book for them. If this becomes valuable for them, you know, they book it. And my goal was to make it 1 hour and finish. Like we practice 1 hour, we end up, we're done. And I started talking as always. You know.
No, thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you.
I love you. Because it feels so good. It feels so warm. You know, once you get in the group of people that you love and they love you, it becomes, you know, I have to give it for the YouTube. So because we need to generate enough people right now, you know, in the school to get this project going. Otherwise, I'm going to get back to privates and all these women are going to be left in the darkness with their confused heads. And you have no, like, I'm going to cut this out, but you have no idea how confused women are. They go through all these dark teachers that like misled. They don't know, they misled. So women have like enchilada in their head. And so Bulat was telling me, Yana, people need you. You need to get out there and you need to give this service. And I'm like, but what about life? What about making money? Like then, because I cannot do this and this and this and that and that. You know, maybe somebody can, I can't. You know, then they collapse when they do that because it's not natural. A woman cannot act like that. It's anti. And as I said, I'm an older woman. I already died. This is my second life. You know? I'm appreciative of it. Like I don't overwork. I'm like I'm ready to die any day. So like I want to die happy. Okay, so I'm feeling so much love from you both. I'm feeling so much love from you, Suzanne. Like she's like, even every breath you take is so much love. Yeah, I feel you giving your heart to me. So first of all, thank you so very much for starting already doing the taking care of the club and of me and being my sister and my mom and my boss and thank you for all the things all the suggestions is brilliant. I just had no energy to give the energy back to you of gratitude. So sometimes I type with one finger in my bed and I'm like that to the point that's no disrespect. It's just like I really like the soul SOS level. I don't have an assistant to help me out. And so I was like, I want you to see and hear. It's like, oh my God, I am receiving. And you surpassed my expectations of what you can do. So thank you for stepping into that role. And yeah, definitely I can see how we can work together. It's amazing. Okay, so because for you, Suzanne, so Thailand is like this, and Phuket is at the end. It's like a little tongue, and it's like a little island. Like it really is a tongue, and it's like all the most beautiful beaches, and they go up like this. So for you, Suzanne, in the future, if we get like life group retreats in places where you can come, as our assistant and so forth, it's like you will be coming for work. It's like not free, you will be working as our assistant and so forth. But I would love to work with your life and so forth. We'll see, maybe I come, if we get enough people buying these retreats, out of that we'll always have a group of 5 or 10 women that want to do life. And if I can get it a group, the bigger the group, the cheaper I can get the price. That the smaller the group, the more exclusive that the higher the price goes. And so like, maybe I will we do it in Miami, in Florida, maybe we do it like in Europe, maybe we do it here in Asia. For now, when it's private, people come to me. But with the groups, I am maybe we do it in Mexico and so forth. And so you will be the admin. I'm gonna call you the queen bee. How do you like that? You like that? I was thinking today, walking about and thinking about how I'm gonna call Suzanne. She's gonna be queen bee because she makes everything happen.
I've been looking at photos of Thailand, the sunrises and sunsets, and they're just gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, the beaches are amazing. The beaches are amazing, and the fruit is the best in the world. The food is great. But like everywhere else, you need to know where to go. Like, it took me a whole month. I couldn't work. I had to figure out where the best place is. So when people come to me to Bali, or when I was in Pangan, they come for a private retreat. I make their the whole week packed with so much dopamine. And so then they tell me that after that they came back without me because they thought, oh, what a beautiful island. And they're like, it was different without you. We didn't have so much fun. Because I'm like, yeah, it's my energy of excitement taking you to the places where the best. I search always what is best and I give you the best experience. But like first month I was walking around the island and trying to figure out where's the fun, where's the pleasure, where is the excitement, finding the best restaurants, the best spas, the best things. So it takes time and investment to find what's best, to invite people for pleasure. So, people think, oh, they can come by themselves and do it. I'm like, no, that's why you pay for the guide, so that you don't get a bland experience. All right, you can unmute yourselves for the practice in a minute. Okay, let me just pray. All right, so we're ready for the practice right now. We're gonna start with deep breathing. The breathing that will only when you feel that the energy already runs through your feet, then you're doing it the right way. So I'm sharing with you how my body feels. So when I start this practice that I'm going to guide you in a second, the concept of it is to open up your chest, this diaphragm, then to open up the lower diaphragm, in the middle, the ribs and the lower ribs, and then you bring it into your belly, and you want to feel at the back, the coccyx area. You want to feel the energy there. And then when you do it for a while and you see your pelvic floor filled up with energy, the breath, then I feel how the energy rushes through my feet, like from my legs to my feet. And then I know, wow, now I'm full body breathing. Okay. And then to that, I add the component. I use the fire muscle. And then I use the water muscle. And then I use the earth muscle. So it feels like boom, boom, boom. And it's extraordinary. And so, as I mentioned, why isolation of the earth element of all the muscles is important is because that back wall of the vagina, she shared with me, is the first one that sags, that weakens. So we need to practice the earth a lot to lift it up, because that's our elevator. That's what keeps all the organs in place. Okay, it's a really powerful muscle. But I mean, I played with this for so many years, practicing, to fine tune what really works. And I felt that that's why I called it the sexual magnet, that you need the fire to warm it up and to get excited and to get some energy. Then I tried doing the fire first and then the earth and then at the water. Difficult for my body. Like I can, but it feels like off. And then I tried the fire, the water, and I'm like, oh, that's how in my body it feels. And then I'm thinking about it, yeah, hot water. That makes sense. That's how we make tea. You cannot make it with cold water. And so I'm like, ooh, that makes sense. It warms external muscles, it warms internal muscles. And now I can get to the earth and I can get the lifting done. And then that energy, I lift it up to my womb first. And there I usually do if you have the meditation I Am Love, I do the blooming of the womb. So when I do the meditation, I share you the technique, but physically, it's always I add the magnet to it. So I add the orgasmicity to the I Am Love meditation. If you don't have it, I recommend everyone to buy the I Am Love meditation. It's going to be very valuable for you. It's a really powerful tool. So, and then for a while, I stay there and practice there until I feel like, in Russian, there's a good word, нега растекается по всему телу. In English, that would be amrita, the nectar, the juiciness. It's like this happiness, this feminine ecstasy. And it starts filling up my whole lower body. And then I lift it up higher to bring it to my heart. And then I start nourishing there. And then I have the rose of love opening up there. We have that practice in the water ritual, And for now, this is where I stop. But before I got married and I was bringing myself to the highest levels to be the priestess, I was lifting it all up here. But for now, I want you to focus on the womb, to the womb area. But if you practice without me, and you are good with that, then you can go and bring it to the heart as well. And for now, just stay there, just nourishing these two centers with your ecstasy, with all this work, all these new technologies that I brought to you about visibility and healing and so forth, in that whole context, it's going to open up so beautifully for you. So, so let's start from the breathing first. And the second practice we're going to get on our knees and we're going to only work on fire. But with that practice, you can use it also for water and you can use it for earth. But today we're going to focus on fire only. Okay. All right. So let's start the breathing part. So I want you to get your feet wide, like comfortable, like wide out, and really grounded to the floor, and best barefoot. Okay. I want you to sit and feel your tailbone. And just, you're a queen, you have your crown on. And so we're gonna pull our body together now. I'm gonna teach you the queen's corset. Okay, so normally I start from the fire, the water, the earth to get my pelvic floor in the sexual magnet position. Then I'm doing the my hands are on my belly right now. So imagine all the muscles on your belly, like a corset from the back. They're coming like this around your belly. So I want you to feel that when you activated your sexual magnet, you're building like this energy that you're going to pull up, right? It builds like an inner core inside of you that instantly want to makes you get taller and straighter, right? So, and then you feel like these muscles and around your belly come in, and then you put, and they take your belly together in. So you're not just sucking the belly in like this, but I want you to feel the corset coming in, and then from inside your sexual energy, you're lifting up internal muscles to create the core, and external your belly, you're tight in this corset, and together you're lifting. So it's going to really change the way you feel in your lower body. By this practice, we are all going to look so much better with our bellies. Like, not just weight loss, it's about tightening up the core, and that it's going to prevent from many injuries and so forth. And it's going to shift the way you walk, feel, and so it's incredible for your health, but also for beauty. And so we do that, and then after that, this part I'll show you first, and then we practice. And then this part, I want you to open up like this. So your hands are gonna be like this. So it's like that. But if we just do it right like this, then our lower back is gonna be contracted. But when we're doing from the pelvic floor muscles up, and then the corset, and then this is opening up, and the neck goes a little bit back and up, then we're building the whole structure where you're sitting, your feet are to the ground, your fingers on your feet are open, and I want you to feel like you're grabbing the earth, really connecting yourself. And then from the bottom up, you're like boom, 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 boom on every level. So just learning how to get your body in a queen's position with the sexual magnet on, that's a life changer. Just this practice is a life changer. And so I'm going to record it for all the women that bought the sexual goddess retreat, so that they're not together today with us on the group, so they can practice, but also for you to have it many times to listen and to practice. Because right now you're going to get the experience for it, but we forget. We need to hear and do a few times before it gets strong. So I want us always to start from this practice in the Queen's Club. So I need all of you that are, watching this and practicing, recognize this is your base. This is what will make You stand out from other women when you walk into a restaurant, when you walk into a room, when you are creating a video, when you are teaching somebody. This is going to affect your visibility, your self-esteem, and so forth. And incredible for your health in so many ways. Okay? So we take a deep breath in. So you understand it. Get your feet down. Try to open your and grip a little bit, you know. Not deep in the chair, but a little bit out so that I can actually feel my feet on the ground and get comfortable. Okay, now I can also feel my sit bones. So I'm like, you know, I'm sitting like in a bowl. And this is my throne, my feminine throne. Okay. Как в такой чаше. Like in a bowl filled with nectar. Luxurious one. Okay. I feel like, yeah, actually from this position, unplanned, but my body needs it. You feel like from here it's pulling you, and you can like make some rounds, getting your chest out and in. This way to just wake up a little bit the body. Ah, this feels so good for my back. Because it's hard to sit for hours, you know, in a position. All right. Okay, good. Yeah, we can do some shaking, some waking up, some caressing. In the morning, I touch, I do some tapping, you know, so do whatever you need to wake up a little bit. Also, I love this. This actually also a good activator. Just do this. It instantly gets your mood up. If you're stressed or you need the energy up, I do this. You know, that wakes me up before I speak. You know, some tricks for you. Okay. So you're gonna take a deep breath and just feel how your chest expands. And then exhale, just release. That's the first step. Just do a couple of breaths where just our chest expands. And feel how here, the back, everywhere, it just expands. And the back of your back. So this whole top level, you just fill it up with air and just feel it fully a few times. Your hands like this in an open position on your knees. You take the breath with through your nose, and then you exhale through your mouth. And then an exhale, for now, just pull your belly in. So this is just a warm-up preparation. Okay. The next step you inhale, you do the first step. You inhale and keep holding that and continue to expand your ribs. So inhale. Exhale, getting your belly together for now. Okay, a couple of times. This is just us warming up with the breath, our body, filling it up. Okay, the third step, you take the inhale, expand your chest. Keep on within inhaling the second part, expand the ribs, the lower belly. And then the third inhale, the third part of the inhale, longer inhale, and you feel how your belly and the back expands. And then you exhale, just compress everything out. So let's go. A very long inhale. And very slow exhale where you're tightening everything up. So my body is ready. You do it as many times as you need. Okay, so first, I don't squeeze anything. First, this is in the morning, I just start breathing to just feel my body with breath and connect to deep breathing. This is the way to get fully in the body. Okay, did any of you feel that the energy went through the feet as well? Because I felt, you felt. Yeah, okay, oh, great, okay. So now we're gonna do the same, but with the magnet on an exhale. So we inhale, we fill up. You can also visualize a golden light coming through you. You can add the spiritual practice to that. So the golden, you can call it the sacred fire love. I call it the sacred fire love, and I visualize it as a golden, you know, like a sun energy coming through me, descending into my body and feeling it all the way to my pelvic floor. And when you exhale, you squeeze the fire, the water, the earth, the best you can at the moment. Let's go. And as you squeeze, you lift it up as much as you can and see how good that feels, and just feel it. It feels amazing. And then release. I got goosebumps going all over my body. This feels good. Okay, that's the second time. We'll do it 3 times, okay? All of your faces are full of pleasure. I can feel how you feel it. It's beautiful because I feel it. I'm already shifted in a different dimension. And so are you beautiful. Okay. So I might keep this breathing exercise for the YouTube for women to try. If you have the womb healing program, you will understand what I mean by fire, water, and earth muscle. If you are just watching and you don't have this program yet, you can just squeeze, you can do the Kegel exercise. You can just squeeze all of your muscles in your vagina, tighten them up and lift them up. Something is better than nothing, you know. But do come and learn and practice to isolate your muscles and become a sexual goddess. It's fun. It's not exhausting, it's exciting. Susan instantly started doing this. Yeah. Yeah, you can put your hands on the lower back and just massage the coccyx to wake it up. Massage it and warm it up. Yeah. You need to do whatever you want to do. Okay, so now for the exercise, the Geisha practice of the fire orgasmicity. Let's see if you can get to feel the orgasm without touching yourself, without masturbation. Let's see what you can practice, or just to warm up. Okay, so this is only for the group. So by the program, you will get to see these practices are recorded for you. They're going to be this part 2 for the Sexual Goddess Retreat. It's going to be called Practicum. And whoever buys the Sexual Goddess Retreat will instantly have the access to this as well. Because when you buy it, you get the link. We open it up for you on the website, and on our website. And so it's a live, you have access to it for a long time. And there will be a second part called Practicum for Sexual Goddess. And so I recommend that as you start the retreat, you do this practice first as well with us. I think it's really, really good fundamental practice. All right, so see you in a little bit. We're gonna see what the ladies are gonna tell us what they experience. Okay, so I want you to, if you can, sit on your knees in a way that your knees are open and your heels are like a little bit like in a V.